might watch later also. And I think Mr. Hari has also posted it on YouTube. So there are people watching in the YouTube also. So going straight into the session, I think there is no need to introduce Mr. Jagannath. He's already well known to all of you in our optical group, and he has been guiding a lot of doctors to set up their optical shops. And so we are both working together because, as you know, Ophthal's aim is to get the expertise to the doctors. So basically, Mr. Jagannath is a veteran from the optical industry, and he has worked with the Titan for a very long time. And I think right from 7 shops to 750 shops. So he knows every bits and pieces of the optical business. And I was actually searching for somebody like him so that he will be able to guide the individual optical shops in eye hospitals to do better. Basically, because inside the eye hospital, optical shop is a neglected area. Many hospitals don't see the opticals as a revenue source. But on the other hand, corporate hospitals look at the opticals as a very important revenue source. Like 20 to 30% of the revenues comes from the optical shops for the corporate hospitals. So the whole idea of this optical improvement and all these things which we have been doing for the last 5-6 months is to upgrade the optical shop in eye hospital to the level of a corporate optical shop. So basically, it's not only going to be about opticals. I've learned a lot from Mr. Jagannath about entrepreneurship and leadership. And so whatever we are going to learn today is not only about opticals, but also about how to become a good entrepreneur and how to tap this potential of opticals in our own hospitals. So we will have 2 sessions. Today is the first session, and tomorrow we'll have the second session on the same time. So today's session is basically like because many of these optical shops in the hospitals are neglected and doctors are not trained to do the optical business. So how do we what are the challenges which are seen in these optical shops, and then how do we address these challenges, and also what is that Ophthall and Mr. Jagannath has got to support. And we have done a good exercise in the last 6 months. We have taken up a few optical shops and we have upgraded them. We have, I'm sure you're seeing the designs we are doing in the groups also. Our experience is also good, and we are also learning in this process. And towards the end, Mr. Jagannath sir will also talk about what is our experience with these optical shops and how we have done over the last 5-6 months. So our aim is to reach to 100 optical shops. We are, I think, around 10-12 shops we are doing now. And we'll be signing up more number of shops in the coming months. So the whole idea is not to promote what we are doing, but the idea is to tell you what are the challenges which are generally faced when we went and saw these hospitals, and also to see how we can address these challenges, and also see what we can do in a collaborative way together. And so we will have it as an interactive session. I think it need not be like a monotonous kind of a presentation also. If whenever you have a question, you can always stop in between, and I will also pitch in between whenever possible. And over to Mr. Jagannath sir. Hari sir, you can start the PPT, and then Mr. Jagannath sir, you can take over, and we will do the presentation, sir. Hari sir, you are there? So if Mr. Hari is not there, I will share the presentation, sir.
I've sent you the latest one. You can do that.
Yeah, I will do it, sir. In 1 minute, I'll do it. You can start talking, sir, in the meantime.
Okay.
I will.
So, good evening to everybody. Thanks for taking your time on a weekday, as Dr. Sandil said, evening, sacrificing your family time. So, my name is Jagannath. I worked almost the entire my life in Titan. Starting, I was the 22nd employee of Titan. I started with the watch division and then for a short time in a jewelry division. And then I ran a independent company of Titan, which is a subsidiary company of Titan. Then I set up a new division for Titan, which is now a separate company, which makes parts for aerospace and automotive. And the last 15 years of my service in Titan was in the eyewear. I joined eyewear division when we just started. So you can go to the slideshow mode, sir.
Yes, sir, 1 minute.
So
Yes.
today's session is that actually there are many aspects to the optical business. But then we thought that if we try to do everything in one session, it is not possible. So in this session, we will go to the next slide, sir. Sandil sir, you can go to the next slide.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in this session, we thought we will try and capture what is this category, this eyewear category. What are the salient features of this product? Because, for example, textiles, ready-made garments has a certain rules and the way it operates. Shoes operate in a certain way. Jewelry operates in a separate way. Like that, healthcare, your own hospitals operate in a certain way. So opticals, how does it operate? What are the category truths? Why do the customers buy? Why they don't buy? What are the obstacles for selling? Okay. And what challenges the optical outlets in general, but instead of talking about others which may not be relevant to us. So I thought we will talk about what are the challenges the optical outlets in the hospitals and clinics. What do they face? And then if you have to succeed, you have to have a competitive advantage. So what are the pillars of this competitive advantage? What are the main categories and what suits the hospital environment? And then something which is very close to my heart and which is close to Tata as a Tata Group as a group and Titan as a company and Titan as a brand, which I have experienced more than 35 years, which is the customer-centric approach, which has shown results over the years, decades. So if some of you are shareholders of Titan, then you would know how much of wealth Titan has created. And that the basis of that is the customer-centric approach. So what does it mean and why we should do that? And of course, last we will also touch upon how do we propose to help the doctors who are either already having a optical shop outlet but not able to leverage it very well, or somebody who is just wanting to start now, who have been having a good practice but outlet is something which they want to start. So both of them, what services we provide, what are the benefits of taking this service, and of course what are the costs. So this is what we will cover. I will try and cover this in about 35-40 minutes so that we have some 15-20 minutes for question and answers. Can go next. The category truth, sir, in the optical industry is that of denial. Okay. So, and they feel the person who gets to know that he now has to wear a spectacle, he feels handicapped. We'll go into this individual detail. And most customers are brand agnostic. So they don't come with a specific brand in mind. And many of them also don't understand what are the features and benefits of different products, what is in the market. And they are largely led by what is told by the optician. And this category is extremely complex. It's a complexity even for the optician and for the customer. And the result is that the optician, the person who is in the sales counter, it is very difficult for him to convey value to the customer. Therefore, customer feels that why should I pay so much? Oh, this is so much. They very easily they will spend 600 rupees for a pizza, and a family of 3 go to a good restaurant, they end up spending 1,500, 2,000 rupees bill. But to buy a 2,000 rupees spectacle, they will hesitate, not because they don't have money, because they don't see value. In many cases, there are, of course, Lawrence and Mayo, which sells average ticket size of 8,000 rupees, Titan, which is 4,500 rupees. I am talking about the 80% of the populace, where it is very difficult to sell even an average ticket size of 2,000, 2,500. And the category, another very peculiar aspect is the customers of this category don't want to travel too much. Why? Because they have to come multiple times to the store. So therefore, they want to have a optician who is very near to their place of residence or place of work. So we will also cover what are the different aspects. Next stage. Why this denial? Why this aversion? Why they feel that it is handicapped? Is number one is a social stigma. So the North Indians call them chashmish. In South Indian, most of them they call soda buddhi or four eyes. So it's like they make fun. So that's why they don't want to wear a spectacle. Second one is it is discomfort. So on the nose there is mark, on the temple there is a mark. It is sometimes heavy. You have to wear the whole day, and sometimes if the quality of the product is not good, frame is not good, then you will get allergies. Okay. Then there are functional problems. Okay, the constraints on certain activities. They can't wear a spectacle and swim. They can't wear a spectacle and do some of the adventure sports or fast sports. And then when they in place like Chennai, it gets fogged even if you are in and out of AC places. And if you are a person who is using two-wheelers, and most of the middle class, when they are going on two-wheelers, if it rains, the raindrops sit on you, the spectacle. If they remove the spectacle, they can't see. If wear the spectacle, they can't see. So that is a functional problem. And then there is aesthetic. That is what happens is one pair of spectacle doesn't suit everything. Because if you wear something which is something like what I am wearing, then it will look sporty, it looks more Western. And if you wear something which is very bing, or if it is little artistic and all that, then that doesn't so go well with jeans and things like that. So, and to buy multiple pairs is a investment that they have to make. So these are all problems the customer faces. So they avoid as much as possible. Can I do without a spectacle? Next up. Why these people are brand agnostic is that most customers are not aware of the brands, because the eyewear industry somehow, except for Titan in the beginning and later Lenskart, now they have also stopped. They don't make too much investment in above the line communication. The sense TV commercials and newspaper ads, these kind of ads are very, very limited. Especially in the past 3-4 years, it has come down, and before 15 years, it didn't exist. So in between some 7-8 years, from say about 2012 to 2018, 6-7 years, market was very active with this communication. Otherwise, one brand which continued for a very long time, right from beginning, was Fast Track sunglasses. Otherwise, there is no major activity which happens in this category. Therefore, people are not aware of many brands, except for few: Titan, Fast Track, Ray-Ban, Crizal. Some of them which spend some money. Other than that, awareness is very low. To give you a perspective, the top of the mind recall for any of the brand will be less than 15%, whereas top of mind recall for most categories will be more than 35 to 40%. In this case, some of the brands says it is abysmally low. It is single digits. And most of the people also are unaware of what benefits. Suppose somebody wants to buy a bike. Okay, so they know there is 50cc to 300cc, it has that cylinder, this type of brake, that type of, all the features, many types they know. You want to buy a TV, they know it is flat screen, it has so much inches, so many things, this technology, that technology. But when you come to the spectacle, it is very less. So some of them are responding to the thing. We will, of course, discuss at the end of this presentation. We will definitely discuss. Then it's also complex. This category is extremely complex. I have found in my 15 years of dealing with this customers and stores and product, the prescription may be right, lens is produced right, the optician has chosen the right frame, the fitter has fitted it properly, okay, but still the customer is not comfortable. Okay? This is the dilemma of this category. Okay? And also, this is the best case scenario. But the average scenario is most of the dispensing opticians, okay, I don't mean any offense to anybody. Most of the dispensing opticians, including those who are in so-called highly trained staff of Titan or Lenskart or all these people, they are not fully aware of all the product characteristics. So they will say plastic. What type of plastic is it? Is it PC? Is it TR? Because the way it is fitted, PC and TR are different. The way it behaves is different. Okay. What type of frame can be used for progressive? What cannot be used for progressive? They are not aware. What type of hinge designs? What will start shaking after 2-3 months? What will be there for a long time? So therefore, why this frame is 600 rupees versus another frame is 1,500 rupees. Okay. So this and also matching the sizes for the fits. So the face, how is that? I have seen one medical doctor wearing a spectacle where that side temple is sitting 3 inches above his ear. It is just simply hanging in his head. Okay, and he has bought it from a very reputed optician in Bangalore. Okay, so this matching that person's face and his requirement and his lifestyle to what is the product to be given, that is very difficult to train people. Likewise, suitability of a progressive. I have found in many chains that at the month end, they will start pushing the high-end progressives, whether the customer needs it or not, high-end coatings. And for a simple power of 1.52, they will give them Trivex, they will give them high index lenses because it is high product. So this suitability and all that, many people don't care. And what type of product is actually required for a particular prescription, and most importantly, the customer's lifestyle. So that is very much missing. And the last point why this becomes difficult is all this training which the brands give, they are biased towards their product. Okay? So somebody who is selling SLR most of the time, they know about probably SLR, but what else is there, they don't know. So some of these arrangements with the brands has so happened is that they are made to sell more of SLR. Otherwise, if the customer is going back, they sell a local brand which is neither here nor there. So the customer is, if he is not able to afford an SLR lens or a call size lens, then the person gets back to local lens, which may or may not have the required feature which the customer needs. Another problem is that this prescription itself is very subjective, because while you have auto-ref, you have all these things, but still finally the customer has to say which is clear to him. So that that subjectivity is very much is in the customer's hand. Therefore, some of these prescriptions tend to fail. And another thing is some customers move their eyes when they see a moving object. Some people move their head. Okay, a person who moves their eyes is completely not suitable for progressive, which the optician is very difficult for him to understand how does he move his eyes. Now there are some technologies which has come to measure that, but those lenses will be out of reach for a common man. Next, sir. So why the customer is unwilling to travel far is that first he has to come for placing the order. Second, he has to come to collect the order. Third, he probably has to come to for any adjustment, which is very likely 30-40% will have to come. So therefore, the customers don't want to buy anything which is more than 3 kilometers away from where they generally are, either their home or their office. So what it turns out as a business requirement is on-time delivery on the promised date. That is more important than a quick delivery. Because whatever you do anyway, even if you have the lens in the store, if you have a fitter in the store, it will take 30-40 minutes to dispense the frame, and most customers don't want to wait. They will say they will come back. Okay, they will come back when, suppose they are buying on a Saturday, they are not going to come back that week. They will come next week. But whatever you have promised, on that day we have to deliver. That is more important. This is what we have learned from research. Next. So now, compared to, I am straight away jumping into the problems that are the challenges that the optical shops in the hospitals and clinics, what they face. The ambience. Most outlets in hospitals which I have seen, many places, is either clinical, so they are white and so it doesn't have any inviting ambience, or it is also Me Too. It is like whatever they could find a standard for fitting, they have bought and kept it there in that 10 by 10 room or a 10 by 8 room. And many optical shops I have seen is an afterthought. They never designed an optical shop when they designed the clinic or the hospital. So it is in one corner somewhere, wherever they could find a place there. So this is generally is my observation, not just in the past 5-6 months, because I have been in this industry for 14-15 years, and we had a lot of work with the doctors where we opened 50-60 stores in the hospitals from Titan Eye Plus. So I have visited hundreds of these hospitals, and this is what I find in most places. Second one is the inventory. That is a challenge. So what happens is that the ability to match the kind of range like any other outside optical can provide is extremely low, because we have a very short, very small space, and people are not there to, the number of walk-ins are less, so you can't have too much inventory. So therefore, your number of products that you can display is very less. Just 1 second. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
I think I moved to the next slide. Can we go to the previous one, sir?
Yeah, please go to the
1 minute, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so inventory is a big problem. Okay. See, when a customer comes in, he comes with some budget in mind. Certain type of material, I want plastic, I want acetate, I want metal, or something like that. And he also has some color in he wants a full frame, he wants half frame. So therefore, if you do actually all these permutation combination, you need to have, even if you want to have one option for each of these requirements, you will require 380 pieces in the store. Okay. If you have to give him 3-4 options, you have to have more than 1,500 pieces in the store, which the hospitals cannot afford. Okay. That is one of the reasons why you cannot match these chain stores. Second reason is the chain stores has a very good merchandising team. They are have 200, 300, 500 stores. So they design products or they adapt products to their requirement. And then therefore they are able to create a very good variety. And with the suppliers also, they have good cloud, so they are able to get. These individual optician hospitals, they go and buy in the local market, so the quality is not good. And they are forced to buy, if you want to buy, you have to buy at least 10 pieces, 12 pieces of something. So therefore, they are not able to give a good choice. In a nutshell, when the customer comes in, very unlikely that he gets a good choice compared to even the chain stores, even a good individual optical outlet outside, these hospital chains, they are not able to manage. That's why I have seen many places, it is the average ticket size is less than 1,000 rupees, 800 rupees, 1,000 rupees. Very, very rarely they will sell more than that. Otherwise, most of their sales comes from very small value. The problem is another challenge is the consistent supply and quality. I have found in the past at least 5-6 months that we are really talking to doctors of what is that they face. Sir, I am buying from the supplier and he says that he is sending the material. He has not sent for past 2 months. My 250 stock has come down to 150. I don't have anything. Or he is saying something, but he is sending something else. I want ready readers, I am not getting. Something like that. So what you need, that consistency and then quality is not there. And quality, though, most of the doctors will not be able to personally see whether it is of the right quality, what is buying. And most of the time it is given to the optician, the person who is running the optical store. And that person, for the kind of salary that this doctor pays, is not such a knowledgeable person. He has been in the industry for some time. Probably he has been a salesperson, probably he has been a fitter, probably he has been in some lens company doing the deliveries. So that is, I have seen many places the quality is bad and supplies, they have a serious issue. And many times they get fakes also. So last but very big challenge is the conversion and customer return. What do I mean by conversion? Suppose you have a 25, 30 OPD and you generate about 8-9 prescriptions. How many people actually buy from your store? I have found most average is 3 to 4. Average. Some of them are even less. Some of them are, maybe a few of them are better, but most of them are in the range of 30 to 40% conversion. Please go back to the previous slide, sir.
Thanks.
Okay. And also our staff who are there, they are more aligned to the clinical side of the business. So they know this is a prescription, therefore this lens will give, and then whatever is the frame is there. So there's nothing to do with the lifestyle of the customer, his needs of the customer. That conversation with the customer is missing. Okay. Because they have hardly got any retail trade. Okay. And the last point is that there is almost zero follow-up with the customer. Maybe they will call and say, is this spectacle fine? But after that 30th day, 6 months later, calling them back and engaging with them, now that 1 year over, okay, you come back for eye test, blah, blah, what. Nothing happens in most of the cases. So I'm just giving a very short thing out that the customer engagement means a lot. There is a lot, and I can explain in a later time when we have more interactions on how to actually have, when we talk about the customer-centric approach, we will talk about it. But it is suffice to understand that after the sale is made and the customer walks out of our clinic, very rarely we engage with him in a meaningful manner. Next, sir. So now the competitive advantage, why people buy. For example, people say that, if you want to buy a very high-end phone, easy, either I will buy Apple or I will buy Samsung. Okay. You want to buy jewelry, you will buy Tanishq or you will go to GRT. So like this. So what is the why people make that kind of choice is because of the competitive advantage that brand has. So there are three pillars of this competitive advantage. First pillar is the product differentiation. Okay. A very good example for that, Indian example, because normally they give example of Apple. I somehow refrain from giving international examples. So one of the very good example, which is mass customized mass market product, is Tanishq. Okay. So when you go to a Tanishq store, you may not find 1,000 varieties that you will find in Bimas or a Lalita, but what you find there are unique, which you would love to have, and then the finish and the purity and all that. So that product stands out. That is why Tanishq is successful, and today Titan is where it is, Titan Company Limited, because of Tanishq. The second type of advantage is cost leadership. Reliance. Okay, I still remember when this phone, the mobile was in the initial stages. Airtel used to charge 2 rupees per incoming call, 4 rupees for outgoing call. Those days, and then it came to 1 rupee, and they used to charge for SMS and all that. And I went for an assessment for this circle of Tata Indicom. And those days, Tata's had this Tata Indicom. So I had gone for assessment. And that day, this Tata Indicom announced 999 rupees, you will get the phone free, and you get so-and-so calls free and so many SMS free. They announced that, and 2 hours later, Reliance announced 499, same thing. So that is the cost. So they are able to do that. Another good example is in the world, which is a case study in many of the business schools across the world, is Tata Steel. Tata Steel used to be the most cost inefficient for a given product. Their cost of production is to be very high. So therefore, they were not getting any headway in the export market. So then, of course, they engaged a company called Goldrat, where they started working on the one goal of becoming the lowest cost steel producer in the world. So now you see how Tata Steel has improved. And one more example we can give is of Toyota. Toyota became very successful in America because they were able to get cost reduction to that extent that with the quality improvements, they brought the cost down. So therefore they were able to release value, which they shared with the customers. So they are able to give a better quality product at a lower price in the American market. So they literally wiped out the American auto industry in those decades. The third type of competitive advantage, is the customer intimacy. They know the customer in and out, and they have a personalized service. Or even for a group of customers, they preempt the customer's needs and provide that. And worldwide, Ritz-Carlton is always touted as one of the most customer satisfaction oriented business. But in our own country, Taj Hotels, if some of you have experienced, you will find that you go to an Oberoi, you will find opulence, you will find very smartly dressed people, and you will find immaculate English, very expensive artifacts everywhere. But you step into a Taj hotel, you will feel at home. So that is a customer intimacy. So you go to a hotel, that hotel once, next time you go, probably that by the time you make the booking, you go, they know your preferences, they know everything. So that way, Taj Hotels is known to be more customer intimacy oriented. So these are the three, we call it the core competencies pillars. Um, but now what does a hospital do? Which one should they choose? Theoretically, you can choose anything, and practically, you need to have all of them in some proportion. But what is your leading guna? What is that characteristic? Is that so please go back to the previous one. Okay, you can't do product differentiation. Like I said, your ability to buy differentiated product itself is very low. Within that, it is not you can't have your own design. You can't have a hustler like Lenskart. You can't have a switchers like Titan. So it is very difficult to have product differentiation. Cost leadership, again, you are buying and probably you are at the end, almost at the end of the value chain. There is a manufacturer, there is a wholesaler, then there is a distributor, and then you are the dealer. And many times your volumes are very low. So therefore, you are not able to get the best of the price. So therefore, you cannot be a cost leader. What you can be is a customer-oriented outlet, because number one, the customer who is coming into your facility is coming for the doctor, and you have a lot of engagement with him, and he has a certain amount of respect and certain trust in you. And that if you genuinely convert into, give it back to the customer. Okay, we will discuss how you can do. If you give back that affection and trust back to the customer, then you can do many things, and this customer intimacy can become your actual competitive advantage. I have seen some of these outlets where even in the group I have seen some discussions. A couple of these doctors have actually demonstrated how they can sell very good quality products, high priced products, and good by being genuinely interested in the customer. That's what it means. Next. So I talked about customer centric approach, and it gives sustainable growth. Why? One is that there is a lifetime value of a customer. When you catch a customer and then you make him come back to you and you become their preferred outlet, or his lifetime value is very high. Okay, so even if somebody is coming to you at the age of 40 because he's now got a presbyop or a starting signs of some eye disease, then he has another 20-25 years of active life. So you have, and that is the age where they also earn more, most of them, and therefore your lifetime value will be high. If he just goes back, hops to another hospital or another clinic and another outlet, then you lose that value. So what I am saying it is not only relevant to the optical business, it's also relevant to your practice. Okay. So this is what I told one of the hospital chains when I made a small guest lecture there, is that most of these principles are true to your practice as well. So many times, knowingly, unknowingly, we don't give so much of attention to that. So this is very important. Next is the life progression and growth in wallet size. Suppose a person who has come with his father and he is 25 years old, you catch him, okay, and he buys something, or he himself may have a requirement for a spectacle. Then from 25 years, he will, right now he is a just first-time jobber, just arrived in his life, but then he will grow. So therefore, his ability to spend will grow. You catch hold of him, then you will be starting to buy very high value products from you. Then the very important is referrals. Okay, so a person who is happy with you, he kind of owns you. I will give you one example. There was one CEO of a Tata company who had bought 6 progressive lenses from different places in Jamshedpur. None of them were suiting him. He was not able to see. So he had settled down for a ready reader. I asked him, Mr. Jamayer, why are you not buying so progressive? He said, sir, I have 6. None of them I am able to cut a long story short, I ensured that he gets the right progressive, right dispensing. After 2 months, he wrote me a mail saying that, Mr. Jagannath, thank you for your intervention. I got a good thing. You will be very pleased to know that I have sold 6 pairs of lenses to my friends. He didn't say I referred. He said that I have sold 6 pairs of lenses to my friends. Okay, that much was his affinity to the brand because we solved his problem. Okay, so this referral is very, very strong. And in chain stores and especially in companies like Titan, one of the biggest metric for a retail manager or a store manager is referral and repeat. Okay, and that is how the store grows. And I have one of my ex-colleagues of Titan, Anutarika, in the group. Hopefully she's listening, and she was one of our best store managers. So she lived that spirit of customer centricity and knowing the customer, serving the customer, fighting with the back end for the best interest of the customer. And that is why her store always grew. And she's making a difference to a couple of stores where we have taken for as a consultancy. So in about 3-4 months time, we have been able to make a difference to it. Now the next point is this, as I said, this healthcare cannot be advertised. Okay, you cannot say that I am the best doctor in this town. Okay, it has to be told by people who have experienced it. Okay, one is that you can show physical evidence, like the place is clean. Okay, the admission process or the disposal, the dispensing process, billing process, everything is very efficient. No errors made. All this. So these are all physical evidence. But at the end of it, it ends with word of mouth. The customer has to feel that he has got the right solution and the right treatment. He has to go and tell others that this is good. So in healthcare and in many of these hospitality services, advertisements don't work. That is why these brands don't advertise. So this whole optical business thrives on push strategy. The person who is at the counter, he has to push. Push means not just being pushy in terms of selling the high price product or saying that this is what is suiting you by telling a lie. Pushing means that you have to behave yourself and provide the services in such a way that the customer feels happy, so that you push that product to the customer. So, and the customer should never feel trapped or cheated. If the customer buys something, goes out, and then somebody says, why did you pay so much for this? And if the customer is not able to explain why he spent so much for that, then he will feel cheated. So it is on us to educate the customer of why he has paid 8,000 rupees for this progressive instead of a 1,500 rupees ready-made progressive. It is available. 1,500 to 24,000, 25,000, 30,000 is available. So when he has paid 8,000, 10,000, 12,000 rupees for a progressive lens, or if he has paid 3,000 rupees for a frame, 2,500 rupees for a frame, why he has paid, the customer has to understand. If he understands, then he will defend himself. And that will become a good reference. Next, sir. So, should we take a break here, Dr. Sendil, and answer questions here, or should we continue with the model?
Yes, I think the voice is a little low. Maybe.
Yeah. So, any questions we can take now? I think if
Yeah,
something you didn't hear properly, anything, because you have seen the line in the presentation. So, if my explanation was not very clear, you can ask the question. Then I will be able to speak a little louder and clarify.
Yeah. So, are there any questions from the audience? Like, I think we can have a little bit of an interaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah, please.
So I am Dr. Neha Deshpande. Can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Madam.
Yeah. So I have 2 questions. First
Yes,
and
ma'am.
foremost is how to manage that customer intimacy, because it is a double-edged sword. if patient is not happy with the optician services, then also he will be unhappy with the doctor also. So
Correct.
how to manage that? How to manage that, double-edged sword? And second, nowadays there are a lot of things which are happening even in the ophthalmic front. Like we have a myopia control clinics, we have contact lenses, specialty contact lenses clinics. So how we can mix those with our optician shop business? These two
I will,
questions. Thank you.
yeah, I will answer the first question. You are able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So the only way of addressing this is to have a proper set process. Everybody in the response chain has
Mm.
to know what needs to be done, why it needs to be done. More than what needs to be done, they should know why it needs to be done. Okay. And if they are unable to do, what they have to look for, where they have to look for. Okay. These three things are extremely important. Okay. Number two, the customer should also know where to escalate.
Mm.
Okay. And third thing is the expectations at each stage has to be set properly.
Properly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So these three things are very important. You set the expectation, you set a process to deliver that expectation, and then you have a proper training for the person and the understanding for the person of how to deliver that, why he has to deliver that, and if he is not able to do, what he should do.
Yes.
Okay. And the buck should stop with you, the owner of the store or the clinic. Okay. Very, very often, even in some of the biggest brands, okay, the biggest customer dissatisfaction happens because there is no escalation mechanism. Okay. You go to a store, you find something wrong. Okay. And you say, I want to speak to the manager. He simply will call his colleague who is not the manager. You yourself will know. By looking at him, he has no authority. He will come back and repeat the same thing which this fellow said. Okay. So there has to be a real escalation mechanism. Okay. So this I am not telling you by theory. So 1 minute I will take and explain how we have done this in Titan. Okay.
Okay.
We have these Google reviews, right? Every customer put a Google review, and our Google reviews almost close to 5 out of 5. Okay. Even then, there will be customers who will rate us 1, 0. Okay. If the people give 1 and say if there is no option, otherwise I would have given 0, I would have given -5, they're right. Then we have something called as an NPS, Net Promoter Score. That's a very big subject, but in a simple way, we figure out if the customer is very happy and he is going to refer somebody else, or is the customer very unhappy that he is going to badmouth us. Okay. So what we do is we take those ratings which are less than 5, which is likely to be unhappy and they are going to badmouth us. Every day morning, first meeting that happens is a summation of this feedback, and which is categorized into what actually happened with specific examples of 2, 3, 4. This is what is there, and we review and take action on the same day. If there is a process to be changed, we will change the process the same day. Okay. So for example, in the year just before I retired, that 1 year, 12-month period, we made 175 process changes, which means every 2 days we have made a process change. That is why Titan I Plus has got repeatedly, year on year, TRI awards. We have won the first prize. Retail awards, number 1, year on year for I think 4 years in a row. Okay. This is not to praise the Titan, just to give you an example of how committed the leadership should be to get this done. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So did I answer your first question, madam?
Yes, sir.
See, second question, madam, as a see, I have also been trained by McKinsey and other people. So I am half the supply chain and all that, but retail and all that, but I am more in the last 5-7 years of my life, I have been more into strategy, business strategy. Okay. So when you want to say, okay, there is a myopia clinic is there, specialty, this clear is there. So how do I integrate? How do I do this? Okay. Strategy is about not how, it is about deciding what to do, but it is more about deciding what not to do.
Not to do. Yes.
That is more important. Why I am telling you. Now, already you will be struggling. Okay. You means I am not talking about specifically you. Most of the people, what I have said, I have seen the clinics. The person in the sales counter is ill-trained to even sell the spectacle properly. Now you try to make him sell contact lenses, specialty contact lenses. Then you need to have competent people. Then you need to have that process. You need to have that environment. Okay. If you think that you have the wherewithal to do that, then you should get into that particular type. For example, if there is a myopia clinic, okay, I am assuming that it is something that the doctor will do. Okay. And you are the doctor and you are able to do it. You get yourself upgraded or you get your junior also trained in that. That is more in your control, you can do.
Absolutely.
Okay. So therefore, you should decide before you taking up anything. One is the opportunity. The second is the what is the cost of success. Okay. Am I able to do that? Okay. And will I be able to deliver that? I will give you one example. When this MMS came, media messaging services, before the smartphones, okay, you could send a small clip or a photo. Okay, that was a great thing. Somewhere in 2005-6, when the mobile phones were introduced in about 1 or 2 years. Okay, Tata Indicom introduced this MMS. Okay, the moment they introduced, their customer satisfaction doubled from 40 it went to 80. Okay, because they are able to give this MMS service. Within 15 days, it came to close to zero. You know why? Because this MMS, they priced it so low, okay, that everybody started using. Their estimate of how much bandwidth will be required to service this was absolutely offline. And people sent, and 70% of the time it doesn't deliver. It delivers in a wrong pixel. So the customer satisfaction became zero.
Went down.
So you must be, why I gave this example is you are doing X amount of business, X amount of practice, X amount of whatever. Then if you want to do, you have to be very clear that what it takes. Okay. Then you should go. And just to give you a side this one, if you are interested to evaluate your hospital or your clinic business and what is happening, what is the metric, how satisfied or dissatisfied are your customers, how much you are able to deliver all that, the Dr. Sandeep will be able to provide you that service at a small fees so that you can talk to him, and maybe I can also help him do that.
Yeah, that was a good explanation. Are there any, we can take one more question before we go to the last part of the presentation.
There's something in the messages, sir.
Okay, let me check. Voices. I think lens card. There's a question about lens card. Lens card is captured Gen Z by.
Sir, actually, I only asked because that actually made Gen Z, especially the younger generation, very brand conscious.
Okay.
So how to deal with that?
Yes. So in fact, when I wrote those 3 competencies, okay, core competency, we call it as competency triad. Okay, when I wrote it in this slide, I was actually, in my mind, I wanted to explain lens card. Okay, I'm also a consultant to lens card, by the way. Okay, so they have been able to manage and balance all the 3 very, very well. Okay? It is a very rare example where they are able to manage all the 3. Take the cost leadership. 1,700 rupees, they will give you 2 pairs of
Yes.
spectacles. Okay. If you are a member paying 500 rupees for 1 year, you can keep using them. You cannot beat that cost.
Absolutely.
Okay. Number 2, you walk into any of the Lenskart store or the website, you get such a huge variety. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because of confidentiality reasons, I cannot share with you the variety. Okay. It is mind-boggling. That is the variety. Product differentiation. Piyush
Amazing.
Bansal himself wears that hustler, comes on Shark Tank, and it sells in millions.
Mhm.
Okay. So it is, I would say it's a benchmark. I have not seen in my 40 years of experience, I have not seen a company which has been able to pull it off all the 3 at a time. Okay. So of course they spent a lot of money, and they are able to do this because they have very, very deep pockets. They have invested in the future. Okay. For a 3,000 and odd crores, as they have established, they have published, or Piyush has publicly made an announcement. 3,800 crore turnover, the valuation is 4.2 billion. Okay, which means the investors have put so much money, they have invested, they are hoping that all this what they have done will come back
Pay
to
off
them as
later.
profits later. Okay. And in the groups, many things, I will take this opportunity to tell. Many people say Lenskart people don't know about quality. They don't, their products are faltu. They are blah, blah, all that. Then people are living in a dreamland. Okay.
No, sir, but Lenskart, if around few years back, was a bad quality product, but now they
Today,
have improved with the. Yes, Definitely. They have done a lot of improvements.
Okay. They have paid me 1 crore of rupees in the past 12 months. Okay. To get that to some stage. Okay. And
Yes.
you will only see it better. That's what I can say. That much I am allowed to say. One more question was there. Somebody said.
Are we supposed to have all the technical details about the products we are selling? Is it possible for an ophthalmologist to have all such knowledge? Like, how much can an ophthalmologist know about the frames, lenses? And is it
Dr. Sandil, I think I have discussed this with you and Dr. Lalit many times. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have told this to many of the other ophthalmologists. Doctors per se, okay, are less than 1%, top 1% of the Indian population. Okay. To qualify to be a doctor, to qualify to get even an admission into a medical course, you have to be top notch in academically, barring maybe few exceptions, but 99% doctors are very, very intelligent people. If they can grasp so much of human anatomy and medicine and process of procedures. I have seen my own niece who has been a doctor, and she's a very successful pediatrician. She used to work 18 hours, learn 18 hours a day, but then the amount of knowledge that a doctor assimilates for a period of time is enormous. And their ability to grasp, I would say, is at least 10 times more than an engineer. Ability to grasp. Okay. All that they have to. I have also known one Dr. Makran Bakshi, who is a dentist. He is a dental surgeon. But if you meet him, he can talk about any process of metal forming, metal machining, plating, metallurgy, everything like an aerospace engineer. Okay. He has spent probably 4 or 5 years trying to make dental implants by himself. Okay. I have met him. I have had a lot of. So why I'm saying this is that to know about these frames is no rocket science. Okay. If you sign up this model that we offer, we will train you in 15 days to know enough to make a good, balanced, educated choice. That's all you need to know. You need not have to know how a frame is made, how TR is made, what is chemical properties, what is its pH, nothing you don't need to know. You need to know what is the difference between PC and TR, how it has to be fitted, why it has to be fitted that way. You need to know what is the difference between rimless and a full frame. What lens can go into rimless, what lens cannot go into rimless. Simple. How to, if you have a plus power which has got a very thick edge, and if you have a frame which has got very less temple side, why it should, how to fit it, you should know. So that you are not that they are going to tell your person how to do. The person who is fitting, if he knows that you know that, he will not come and fool you. That's all. You will be able to supervise it better, and it won't take more than 8-10 hours of inputs, which we are willing to provide.
Sir,
Did it answer the question?
There is one more question, but I think we can take it after the session, sir. Like
what is the one? Let us finish that one question, sir. Last question.
That's got a detailed, like why conversions are less in hospital setup. So that's the full presentation, I think.
That's a full presentation. But anyway, I hope when we talk about these services, you will understand why it is less.
Yeah. So we can go into the model, sir.
So in the model, anyway, I think Dr. Sendil is more qualified to explain this, but still I will do it, and you can pitch in whenever it is required. We will provide you a shop design. Shop design means what? The layout of the design and the looks. Okay. At the end of this presentation, there are some images you can see. Layout is very important because it should allow you to have a proper flow through to the customer to make a choice. You should be able to display the right number of products in a certain manner. Okay. So, and you should be able to create differentiation between high price product, lower price product, or something which is very hatke, what we call in Hindi, which is edgy products. So, and some things with a story. So you should be able to be attractive to the customer. For that, the layout is very important, not just the design, even the layout is very important. There is a lot of science to it. Depending on where you enter, where should be the expensive products, where should be the regular products, and at what high level it should be. So there is some science to it. So that layout and the looks, of course, the looks aesthetically pleasing. So you will be able to see that, considering the location, because for a place like Dimapur, I should be very stylish, because even though Dimapur is a very small town, but the Northeast people are very, very style conscious. So we cannot be one drab. But the same thing you put in Salem, people will feel that it is very expensive because it's so good looking store. So depending on the location, we have to make the right design and the layout. That we will provide you. Okay. Of course, you will have to execute it. We will not be able to provide you day-to-day guidance to the carpenter and all that. But you get a good carpenter, we will give you the designs, we will give you the drawings, we will give you the material matrix. With that, any good carpenter worth his salt will be able to execute it. And as you can see at the end of the presentation, some of our doctors are able to do it without any problem. Second is merchandising. This is the crux of the whole offer, because we will tell you, we will design what is the mix of products that you should have. How much metal, how much acetate, how much TR, how much combo, how many ladies, how many unisex, how many square, how many round, how many dark color, how many light color, how many transparent. All this, and at what price, at each price point, at what price point you should offer this, what price point you should not offer that. Okay. All this science, which I have mastered for, I struggled a lot in the beginning, 3-4 years, and we eventually that understanding I developed into a software. Probably we will also use that software in a little while, maybe after 1 year or so. But then that knowledge resides within me, and when we sign up, that decision is made by me personally. I will select the products for you. Of course, my assistant, the manager is there, Nutarika. She is also a very successful store manager. So once I give her the guidelines, she will select from the products from the various vendors. So we will buy not only from one vendor, we buy from multiple vendors, and we are able to give you one advantage is that if you go and buy in the market, wholesale market, you buy 10 pieces, 12 pieces. Here we give you one piece of each model. So therefore, when it sells, depending on its sale rate, whether the same model has to come, whether it is available, if it is not available, or if it is taking more time to sell, what type of replenishment should happen, that also we will provide. So your inventory, if you are starting a new store, what you would have invested in your stock and what you will invest with us will be less. And even if it is same value you invest, you will have a much richer merchandise, which will be able to sell more. This is one of the reasons that the conversion is less. In your store, when a person comes, for example, you are a hospital, okay? So you will get people who are at different social strata. You will get teachers, you will get businessmen, you will get engineers, you will get financiers. You will get all types of people, because eye disease is not specific to any particular social strata, except in highly malnutritioned places like Burgur. General in a normal tier 1, tier 2 city, the number of people who come in, if there are 100 people who have walked in, you will have all sorts of people. Now the prescription also you will have for all strata of people. But when that person wants to buy in your store, number one, you don't have a good variety. Number two, you don't have in all price points. You will have very less, only 200 rupees, 300 rupees you have bought, 100 rupees you bought, the frame is 500 rupees. The moment you say 500 rupees, a software engineer will not buy, and he cannot see the colorful frames that he can see in Lenskart, he won't buy. What we are going to do is, we may not be able to fully mimic a Lawrence and Mayo or a Titan I Plus or a Lenskart, but within what you have, within your constraints, you will have a very good mix, so that instead of only 3 people buying out of 9, 6 people will buy out of 9. And then if you get confidence, you invest little more in little better products, that will keep increasing. So merchandising is the key, because you cannot sell what you don't have. Okay? This any amount of explanation here is really worth it. So merchandising, the selection of the product, its price points, so that you need a 300 rupees frame also. The auto rickshaw driver will come, or even a manager will come for his cook or his maid. He wants to gift or give the spectacle. He needs a 600 rupees, 400 rupees, 1000 rupees frame also. But most of it, you need to have a very good range, right from beginning to the medium, reasonable, mid-premium segment of products you need to have. That we will select and provide you, and we will give you the replenishment also. Of course, we will source, as I said, we will source from different suppliers as per this plan, and then we also will replenish that very frequently, depending on how much ever you are able to sell. And our focus is on quality. So some people said, I can get for 200 rupees or 150 rupees gold-plated looking like frame. That is a gold-plated looking like frame. If you put it in the test, it will not pass even 1 hour. Our frames will pass 24-hour test. There's an international test. We have a certain minimum standard for the hinge quality, the minimum standard for the type of plating and painting that we use. It will not peel off. Even if you wear in a very humid place like Chennai or Baroda, it will not disintegrate. It will not create any allergies, things like that. And you will get a warranty. Most of these people will be able to give you a 1-year warranty from the date of supply. Okay. So that we will be able to, and wherever possible, if the practice is big, suppose you are able to sell in a day 4, 5, 6 spectacles in a day, there could be some offers and schemes which our suppliers, lens suppliers or a frame supplier will be able to offer, that we can provide you. And we can also provide you lenses. As I said earlier, one of the reasons why your conversion is low is because either you have a local lens where you don't have variety, you will have progressive where there is only one fixed progressive depending on the up to certain Ours, there's a progressive. You will have either hard coat or a multi-coat. You don't have specialty coatings. You don't have specialty progressives. Neither you are able to procure it, nor you are able to train your people to sell it, nor you are able to get it fitted properly. So that is why you will not be able to sell. And you may know that most of the successful outlets, the percentage of progressive determines their success. Okay? And how much money they can make, because that is where the value is. Okay? So your people will end up selling a bifocal where a person can actually afford a progressive, or the person will not buy from you, he is walking off. So it is either affecting your ticket size or it is affecting your conversion. This is the second reason why your conversion is not working. Okay. Third one is the staff training. Okay. So this there is a 21-step eye testing process which is followed by Titan. Many other, for example, Lenskart has a 12-step process. Okay. So whether we should do all the 21 for everybody is a questionable thing, but you have to tick it off that this is not required, okay, for a particular purpose. So that is that process. We have seen that most of the hospital outlets, they don't do this. They do simple refraction, and then because anyway the doctor has seen the eye, and then in between the steps are missed out. So what it happens is that because of that, you are not able to actually assess the customer's lifestyle, and you are not able to marry the products out which is available outside to that customer's need. So you lose out on this. This is the third reason why you lose out on conversions. Okay. And of course, when a customer comes back and says, I have a problem. So now, like Dr. Neha asked, so how do I handle the customer who is unhappy? Okay. The person in the counter doesn't know what to do. He'll say, you come back later, it will get adjusted, you wear it for another 15 days, or it will come like this only. Things like that. So we have seen this happening multiple times. They don't know how to handle customer complaint, and they don't know how to handle complaints, because some of the customers can be annoying, they can be unreasonable, and because they don't understand. So if the salesperson knows the product very well, knows the process very well, he would have already explained to the customer what to expect and set the expectations properly. Therefore, the complaint itself will come down. Even if there is beyond that, if there is a complaint, the salesperson training will help him to handle that situation better. And to some extent, we also will ensure that the doctor also can understand what is the...
So 1 minute, sir, I will mute.
So they can also understand what is the how to handle these processes. Second thing is that we will also give a complete store operation, right from the time the store is open to the time it is closed. So all the what is the upkeeping process, so how do they have to take the sales process? What are the the commercial compliances? So how do they handle cash? How do they handle card payments? All these things. Okay, how do they handle the orders which has been placed? How to coordinate with the suppliers? All that. Initially, anyway, 3 months we will handhold, but we will also provide this. The thing is that in this whole training process, in a nutshell, like I said, that customer centricity, we will train your staff and you to be able to execute that customer-centric approach. So through processes, through what to be done, what should not be done, what cannot be done. So all this we will provide you through documentation, training, and inputs. And of course, 3 months on a daily basis, there will be, your staff, they have a doubt, they can call back our support team. They will provide the support. And of course, we will also have a weekly review and understand what's happening. All this we will provide. These are the services that we give.
So basically, yes, sir. Maybe I just want to add one point.
Yes,
so
sir.
basically, what we are doing is generally we don't want the ophthalmologist to outsource the shop, because many of the existing models where we outsource the shop to another party. But what we thought that let us not to look for outsourcing the shop, but we can look at empowering the ophthalmologist to run the shop better. So basically, you will be running your shop with the support from our team, and it is 3 months. After 3 months, if you want to continue, you can continue. So, and general opinion is when you say that there is a consultant and then the shop design and all these things. What we have made sure is that everything is very cost effective. It's not going to be expensive or
We'll come to that, sir.
yeah,
We'll come
yes,
to the.
yeah,
We'll go to the benefits next
yeah,
slide. Then
yeah.
we'll. Okay.
Put the yeah, put the next.
So the first thing is that there will be a world-class store ambience, which is designed by award-winning architect team, which happens to be my daughter-in-law and son's company. We have a team of 8-10 architects working, and my daughter-in-law is the principal architect. And if we charge this design fee, if they charge for even a 180, 200 square feet store, they should be charging about 80,000 to 1 lakh rupees just for the design, which we are doing this on an incremental basis. So because I am saying that you do this, they are not able to say no. So they will do it. And we have been able to give very good designs to 10, 12 stores where we have given. And it is looking good, easy, and it's not very difficult to implement. And it is something which is long lasting. We give a metal matrix and all that. So you'll be able to get a good material. You have to use the material that we provide so that it lasts for at least 6-7 years without any problem. Then, of course, functional design, as I said, customer experience and balancing display capacity. We give the merchandising. I have already spoken about it. And you will have a higher stock turn. Suppose today you have, say, 600 pieces in your store and you are selling 30 pieces. Okay, that means you will, in a month, that means in a year you are selling 300, which means to sell 600, it takes 2 years. But in our model, if you follow what we tell you, and if the people are following all the process and the thing, you will get a stock turn of minimum 2, maybe even 3. Okay, which means if you have a 400, instead of having 600, you have only 400 pieces stock. Okay, that with that 400 pieces stock, you will be able to sell about 1,200 in a year. Maybe you will be able to send 80 to 90 pieces a month. So that is what is the benefit. So that higher stock turns, how it will help you? One is your investment in the stock is less. Number 2, your obsolescence will come down. So non-moving stock will become very less. Because of the non-moving stock is not there, you will be able to buy fresh stock and keep the store fresh all the time. Improved conversion because of the staff training, which I have explained to you, and also the merchandise. Higher ticket size because we will provide this one thing which I think I missed. Now you are able to sell either a SLR or a local lens. So in between there is nothing. So because of that, what happens? You are losing the ticket size. That we can also give you a lens portfolio along with these frames so that you capture that market as well. So people who are walking away because they cannot afford SLR, but your other lens is not good enough. So that also we can capture. So your ticket size also will improve, conversions will also improve. Of course, with all this, you should be able to get good customer experience. And as I told you, that customer engagement process, it may be a little difficult to explain this fully. A few examples I gave you, what we did in Titan. So similarly, we will require your intervention and your blessings to do certain things in the store, like no questions asked policy, warranty policy, if wherever it is required, getting back the customer and doing a revaluation of that. So lots of things we will have to do. If we do that, customer, we have seen that some of these stores where we are now consulting, people who had bought 6 months ago, they have brought their friends, which has started happening within 4 or 5 months. It has started happening. So this is what is required. And then hassle-free operation, because everything will be standard process, standard payments. You know, we are also tying up with this. We are only supplying you one point. You don't go to different suppliers to buy different things. We will supply you everything. We just give you make the payment. We send you the product. It is there with you. And if there is a lens which is to be paid every month, then you get a notification on that month. You just pay. Finished. Everything and sales process is all standardized. Your salesperson cannot defraud you, because we will ensure that all the products have a price tag. Or the price is transparent. Lens price is transparent. So if he's selling that product, then that money should be there in account. He cannot tell his own price. Many places I saw in one of the very good outlet in Pune, which is run by one of the very famous doctors. I went and that manager, I asked him, where is your price list for the lens? He says, I don't have a price list. Then I said, how do you sell? He says, I will decide, sir, depending on when the customer comes, we'll decide one price. So, which is a very easy way for defrauding the owner, okay, and defrauding the customer. So the doctor thinks that no, he is charging more for a person who can afford no higher price, and I am earning more, but actually he is not earning. He is actually losing money. So these are all the benefits. Cost, Dr. Sandhi will explain.
So basically, even before the cost, what happens is there are two kinds of customers. So one is somebody who is very new, they don't know what is the how to run an optical shop, how to start. So this model is suited for both already existing doctors who are already running the shop, but not optimally performing, and also doctors who are quite new. So they don't know where to buy the frames, how to price it. So it helps them to get started. So we can support both the kind of these customers. And I think if the process started earlier, then the efficiency is also better for both the types. And so basically, I think we wanted to have the cost very free. So what we are very less basically, because engaging a consultant like Mr. Jagannath for a single hospital or a single outlet will be very expensive. So what we have done through Ophthall is we have told them that, sir, we will at least give you 100 customers every year. So basically 100 people. So the cost of the services is being shared by all the 100 people. So that is why we have kept it very minimal. So the upfront fee, which will include the designing and all the services which sir has enumerated, would be 50,000 rupees to start off with. And then for the first 3 months for the handholding, it is going to be 20,000 plus GST. So you have the option to stop here. Like if you are confident that you don't want to, your staff is trained and everything is fine, you can end the service at the 3 months. Or if you still feel that you want to be continuously involved in our services, then it is either rupees 10,000 or 5% of the sales from the 4th month. This is what we have.
I just wanted to add one more, Dr. Sandhi,
Yeah.
that even if you stop after 3 months, we will continue to support you with the
Right.
frames and lens supplies as to whatever we have done. That
Yeah.
we will continue to support.
Yeah. So you have the option, and though it's not mandatory that you should buy the frames from us, but I think with the quality and the support service, definitely majority of your sales, you will be happy to place the orders through us. And our revenue, we have also based it a little bit on the frame services, frame, lenses, all these things. So this is for the build, operate, transfer model. Like initially you will pay 50,000 and then 20,000 for the 3 months. So that is the initial thing. So where you can get the shop started, and we will support you with all the services, like including purchase of equipment, so the designing and whatever sir is enumerated. So we have a few customers. I think, sir, you can go on with the design, and then I think we have Dr. Paras Mehta is also there on the line.
Oh,
So
is it?
yeah, I think so. I saw his name. Sir, you are here, sir? Maybe I don't know. Initially, I saw his name. I don't know if he is here. So he is one of our one of the first clients for the build, operate, transfer model. So if sir is there, he can give us feedback. or you can go ahead with the designs we have
Yeah,
done, sir.
this I just wanted to put some sample design. I just
Yeah.
put one sample design here. This is being done in West Bengal. So the go to the next slide. This is the design concept what we are given. We are given, of course, then the drawing and metal matrix. This is the work in progress now.
Yeah. So this is the actual site.
Actual site photos.
Yeah. So you can see that whatever we had in the design has actually come in, and these designs are customized. So basically, it's not the same design for every shop. Based on the shop, we are trying to have different kinds of design for these shops, and the design is customized.
Anyway, in a later vein, Doctor, if
Yeah.
as we go along, we have already, I think, crossed a dozen, and as we go along, there may be not hundreds of designs may not be possible. Some of them will be adaptations, but we'll try and keep as unique as possible.
Yeah, and it
Is
is
what.
customizable
It's
based on
it's all
size of the
customized.
shop.
It's all
Yeah.
fully customized.
Yeah. So this is the sample design, and we also have some shops which are already fully functional. And personally, I have actually outsourced two of the shops which we were running in Chennai. That is also doing quite well after 3-4 months. We have almost got it into break-even stage now. And so, yeah, I think that is the end of the presentation. So maybe I'm sure many of you will have questions. You can unmute and ask your questions. And one thing is, all these services are provided online. So there is no physical visit for these. Basically, it's not required also. What initially we also had concern whether it will be possible online, but we are pretty good in whatever we have been doing. And I don't think a physical visit is needed because that is going to cost money also. If somebody traveling is going, it cannot be done at such a low cost if a physical visit is required, but most of the services can be done online. And so we
It
can
has been
also,
successful. It's quite
yeah,
well
quite well.
because at least now the 3-4 shops are running. Your 2 shops are running. The other 2 are running, and then there are some even as you see this one which is work in progress. We have
Yeah.
hardly had 2-3 queries, and then they are done with that.
So I will explain you like before we finish, like how actually it works is somebody starting a new hospital. So you just give the photos of your hospital and then videos, and then we decide where the optical shop has to come and how many square feet you have to allocate for it, and the space is designed and the design is given. Then you kind of we can also help you in evaluating the interior person, or if you already have an interior person, so we give him the specifications, and every day there is a monitoring done so that whatever design
No. Just one, sir.
yeah.
This design aspect, okay, we don't do a everyday
No, sir, I
evaluation
didn't tell
because
design. I told the monitoring.
monitoring they will do. The monitoring of our shop operations will happen on a daily basis for the first 3 months.
That is
But
what.
this making this thing, there is no point, and it will be very expensive. Even for a 3-4 crore rupees project, we don't do a daily review.
No.
So
So
it is not
basically,
required.
if there is a query they
If there is
have,
a query,
that
they can put it in the group, and it will get answered in reasonable time.
yeah. And then
And not much has come, sir. Actually, we have generally what we do is when this carpenter or the contractor takes this, he will have certain questions. He will go through the drawings, he will go through the metal matrix, then he will have some questions. Some 1 or 2 days, he will put some 8-10 queries. So we have a call and explain to him, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours it takes. We explain him everything. After that, hardly they will come back with any questions.
So that side support is provided, and then the staff training and everything goes on.
So will the staff training include the fitting of the lenses also?
Fitting we don't do, madam, because it is a physical activity. That training you will have to get it done locally. It has to be done locally. But if we are in some, where are you located, madam?
We are in Guntur, Andhra Pradesh.
Guntur, I know. So Guntur, I think nearby is Vizag. I think you will find many people in Vizag whom you can send your fitter and little small cost, they will train you and send. But most probably for how many prescriptions you make per day, madam?
No, not many, but just out of interest, I was seeing this.
No, the
Okay.
reason why I'm asking is like this.
Mhm.
See, if you are making at least 12 to 14 fittings a day,
No.
okay,
I'm
then
actually
only you
slowing
should have a fitter in house. If you don't do that, if you are making 3-4 fittings a day, even in Guntur, there are people who will do a very good fitting. Okay, so
Okay.
and in many places, our lens supplier will do the fitting for you. If we are taking our lens, they will do the fitting for you most of the places. Otherwise, also you will get. My personal advice is, unless you go to 10-12 prescriptions a day, fittings a day, you should not invest in a fitting and fitter. It will be very expensive.
So there are a few questions, like one question is the upfront fees 50,000 for existing optical shop also? So if you're already existing and if the shop ambience, everything is good, we can start supplying with the consultancy, supporting with the consultancy, which is like we provide you all the other services other than the designing of the shop. So designing, but merchandising and all those
But
things.
it may not become zero, but we can reduce it quite significantly.
Yeah, that is like
Because
10,000.
to be honest, this 50,000 is not for the design. Okay, the total amount was, earlier we started off with some 1.5, 2 lakhs. We reduced it to 1.1 lakh, which is spread over 50,000 first and 20,000 in 3 months, so that it is easier and light on the pocket to pay.
No, I think what his question is, if we are not going to design the shop,
Correct. Then
is
it is not,
already
50,000 is not zero, because 50,000 is not for only designing this
yeah.
store.
So then what is the amount?
It is for the that we can see, depending, if somebody is interested, then one-on-one we can discuss that.
Okay. And the
Then
other
we can reduce
question
it significantly.
Yeah, that is fine. And other question is, how much income we can expect? I think when you start the shop,
It is
how much income? The
it is like
income
this, sir.
depends on your footfalls, a lot of other things. There is
No, let me give you a very empirical thumb rule. Okay, if you have 25 to 30 OPDs per day, okay, you will be able to make at least 8 to 10 prescriptions a day. If you get 8 to 9 and you get at least 6 prescriptions, you convert. Even at about 2,000, 2,200 rupees average ticket size, 10 to 12,000 rupees a day, which will convert to about 2.5 lakhs. So you discount it by 25%. 2 lakhs you can comfortably think it may go up to 3 lakhs at a 30,000, 30 OPDs per day. It all depends on how many OPDs and therefore how many prescriptions you make.
Yeah. So are there any other questions from the audience? So maybe I think you can unmute and ask if there are questions, and so if anybody wants to join this program, or if you want to have some feedback from the existing customers, you are always welcome. So are there any questions? If there are questions, you can unmute and ask. I think everybody has slept already.
Okay. Okay, we'll anyway, this will be a recording also is going to be available, right? Doctor?
Yeah.
This recording will be available on what? In our
Yes,
Optical.
it's there in our YouTube channel, so you can have a look at it. And tomorrow, what will we be covering, sir? Like maybe we can give an introduction for tomorrow's session before we close.
Tomorrow we will be doing more about merchandising.
Okay.
More about merchandising, frames, quality, lens fitting, the lens and different types of lenses, frames, and how. So and then of course there is a one package for the frames and lens supply that we'll explain. But we'll discuss more the first part. We'll talk more about principles of merchandising, principles of planning, and things like, and some concepts about stock turns and ROI Jim Roy invented
Basically, I
terms.
think the
It'll
problem
be
most
it'll be
of
more
the
of a merchandising and supply chain input.
yeah, I think basically the problem most of the shops faces in the inventory because there is too much of inventory, a lot of unsold goods. I think we
So
will be
we'll also talk
looking,
about how to calculate how much inventory you should have.
yeah, and how to reduce the cost of that inventory.
Correct.
Yeah. So maybe one last question because we still have almost 30 people here. With one last question, we can complete. Does anybody have a doubt on the thing? I think Dr. Shruti has posted a comment, very helpful and encouraging. Yeah. So
Okay,
whoever
sir.
wants to join, whoever is more interested in knowing about these program, and if you're looking at improving our optical shop, feel free to WhatsApp me or Mr. Jagannath. We will be happy to share more references.
Thank you.
It was very interesting and very. Actually, I am already 25-year-old in practice. That's why I'm wondering if I should think of a shop now. As you said, I have a small outlet, and that guy, I mean, like all the problems you said, he tells what he knows. Like you have exactly told all the things. Like he say, put it for 2-3 days and come back again. Those are the sentences. So it was going on. I wish I could have met you before. Anyway.
You know, madam, actually, for the benefit of others also, see, as I told you, the past 6-7 years, I have been basically into strategy. Okay. And of course, I have been running the 70 stores, and we also have fast track distribution and all that. But I have generally been a general manager, okay, who generally manages. But in this optical field only, okay, I have gone into the depth into stores whenever on every weekend. Yeah, Saturday, Sunday was holiday for me. 4 hours each I used to spend in some store if I am in Bangalore. If I go travel anywhere, I will not come back unless I visit 1 or 2 stores. And many people would not know that I am from Titan, who I am. They will not know because we had in 300 different cities. They would have not even seen my face. I will sit there 2 hours and understand. So I know what exactly happens in our stores, in our competitor stores, in hospital stores. I know exactly what happens.
That's what you told, all the facts. But still, it's not too late. I'll think over.
Yeah. It's never too late, madam.
Yes.
I am also 63 years old officially. Yes. Okay. And we have started this venture 6 months ago, less than 6 months ago. So,
okay.
Think about it.
Account since 20 years, a small account.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Basically, there is maybe we can finish with one last question. There are many ophthalmologists who also want to start additional stores in addition to whatever is existing in their hospitals. Maybe a shop outside their clinic, or maybe in 2 or 3 kilometers from their clinic. So will we be able to support them to start a extra optical store and also support in that operations and management of that? Hello? I think, so I don't know if Sarah has left already. So
No, I am
basically,
here.
yes, sir. My question was, there are some ophthalmologists who want to open additional optical stores, not inside the hospital, but outside of their hospital. So will we be
can
able
do it.
to support?
Definitely we can do. In fact, one of the ones with the photo you have seen now on the PPT is not in the hospital. It is on a high street.
Yeah.
It's an independent optical store.
Yeah. Yes. So, or if there are also a set of ophthalmologists who started their independent stores which are not doing well. So we can be able to take those stores and also make it viable and successful.
That also we can do.
That is also possible. Yeah.
For that, anyway, the answer is to make it simple. In fact, somebody also has messaged privately, I guess. is that, okay, I already have it and it is running. Can we engage in some way? We can straight away start with that first 3 months of 20,000 rupees. We'll give you all the inputs, SOPs, blah, blah, everything. And after that, you decide what to go about.
So I think we have almost closer to 2 hours and a little late also. Very interesting, sir. Thank you for the nice presentation, and thank you everybody for participating actively. Almost 50 people joined the session. So if you are more interested to know about the model of that build, operate, transfer, please do connect to me or to sir, and we will be happy to support you with that. Every month we plan to take only four centers, because it might be a little difficult to manage more than that. So we make sure don't take too many centers also. And thank you for participating. Looking forward to meeting you tomorrow, the same 8:30 p.m. And have a nice good night and nice evening. Thank you all. Thank you, sir, for the presentation.
Thank you.